Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. Dr. John Deloney, #1 best-selling author and host of the Dr. John Deloney podcast on the Ramsey Networks, is my co-host today. We're happy to talk to you about your life, your money, your relationships. We're here to help you do life a little bit better. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Taylor starts this hour in Knoxville. Hi, Taylor. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Dr. John. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I need some help navigating money and family. My question is it wrong for my husband and I to lie about our accomplishments and pretend to be broke in order to financially and emotionally protect ourselves? And I'm happy to give a little context with that.
It's just cowardly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I own that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
How old are you guys? How long y'all been married, Taylor?
So we've been married a little over a year, together for 5. I am 32, and my husband is 35.
So who's the twerp that's going to have a hard time with you succeeding?
It's my family, specifically my mom.
Okay.
So my husband and I have paid off over $100,000 in student loans over the last 3 years.
And your mom will feel entitled to some of your money if she hears you're winning?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Almost like I've talked about this before. Okay. Okay.
And so she uses money to show love, but more as a means of control. And yeah, anytime one of her kids starts making money, she's got her hand out wanting some. And to clarify, she is financially well off and is not in need of any help. And she has actually stolen thousands of dollars from me in the past when I had my very first job when I was 16 years old. And when I confronted her,
we're pretty much saying mom's got issues.
Yes.
Why do you continue to allow your mom to control you? You're 30s.
Yeah. I want to honor her as my mom.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
I think that sounds good. It's a good church answer.
Yeah.
I think you're still trying to figure out what you did wrong when you were 9 that your mom would steal from you. And you still think there's a way, there's a thing you haven't done yet that you'll finally do it. You'll finally give her the amount of money. You'll finally do the thing and she'll go, I'm so proud of you and I love you. That's what I think you're chasing.
Yeah.
And I think you wrap it up in words like honor thy father and mother. Honor thy father and mother does not mean
honor their misbehavior.
Exactly.
Yeah. In all honesty, I would love to just cut her off completely. I don't think I'm ready to do that. I think that's what makes it hard.
Here's what you're giving her right now. You've given her money in the past. You've given her your life in the past. Now you're giving her your integrity.
Free rent in your head.
Don't give her your integrity anymore. Tell the truth.
Yeah.
And when she says, well, I want, like, no, we're on a budget. It's a muscle you're going to have to practice. You're going to have to, it's like going to the gym. You just never done squats before. You're going to have to start light, but you're going to have to learn how to do squats.
The first time you do it, your heart rate's going to go and your stomach's going to go into your throat. The 80th time you do it, you're just going to be smiling, looking at a poor, pitiful lady who hasn't been able to control her own emotions.
Yeah.
Because that's actually what she is. She's kind of pitiful.
You will never do a thing that makes her finally say,
because she doesn't have that. She doesn't have that tool in her kit. Nope. She can't do it. She doesn't know how.
Right.
So you're dealing with an incomplete person who's got major gaps, and you cannot have any expectation that she's going to be anything other than that. And you just smile and go, no. I mean, pretend like she had a stroke. Okay, and she was she was incapable of behaving. You would just look at her and smile and go, gosh, that's a horrible malady you've got, but that still doesn't mean you get to come over here and, throw rocks through my window.
Yeah. And
You didn't hear any of
No,
that.
you don't want to so bad. Why?
You just kept driving.
Why? Can I? Okay, I'm gonna cut to it.
You're scared.
You're gonna haunt your marriage,
Yeah.
and at some point, your husband, if he hasn't already, is gonna ask, "Why her over me?
Mm-hmm.
Why her over our future that we're trying to build together?"
Yeah, she's taking up a lot of space in your head. So this may be you guys. You may need to sit down and talk to somebody and work this through, because this is a mother-daughter dysfunction that's pretty serious, and it's just manifesting itself in the money. But there's a lot of other parts of this, and so, but the truth is, you're not going to have peace hiding, as a 30-year-old hiding, like you're some kind of misbehaving teenager. You know, I can't tell my mom I got good grades. You know, I mean, come on, what? So, because she does not have the capacity. She's a diminished capacity, as if she's had a stroke. We'll just call it that, okay? And it affected her ability to be a good mom. And so you just treat her like that, and it's kind of sad and it's kind of pitiful. But it doesn't mean I can't tell her the truth, Mom. You know, if it comes up, but you don't need to go in there and go da 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 da. Well, look what we did, because that's not going to do it either. But if it comes up, you just go, well, you know, hey, we paid off some money. But I don't sit down with anybody and go, look at what I did.
Yeah, how does that even come up in your house?
Yeah, really.
Well, whenever me and my husband go, which is less and less frequently now, if I need to go to the restroom or leave the room, they will corner my husband and straight up say, how much money did you make this year? What are you making now?
Hold on, but all you say is, I had a good year. I'm not going to give you those numbers. And you smile real big.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that. It's none of your business.
Yeah.
Or when you come out of the bathroom, go, hey, Mom, Dad, we don't talk about our private financial matters anymore. We don't put those numbers out into the world. Those are private. Those are ours. And if they can't honor that boundary, then they're asking you, we don't want you here.
Yeah.
Right?
That could be the exit that I'm looking for.
Well, it could be, but that would be them running you off, not you yelling, I'm leaving until you learn to behave. That's not what we're telling you, okay?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about my sex life with you. I don't want to talk about the dollar amount we made last year. I don't want to talk about any number of things. That's for us. It's not for you.
As I started having grandbabies, I have had way more information from my children about the arrival of children
I'm sure
and
you
how
have.
they got here than I wanted to know. I'm just telling you. So I just assumed we went her direction and just said, you know, y'all just keep that to yourself. I really don't want to know some of this. I just want to see the baby when it comes. Thank you very much.
I'm happy.
I don't need to know about the practice.
Nope.
Thank you very much. Nope. It's all good. But oh my gosh, it's the same stuff. You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
I'm not going to tell you about that stuff.
No. Papa Dave don't want to know.
Nope.
Papa Dave don't want to know. I'm just saying.
I want to meet the baby.
I just just tell me what the name is and tell me what the sex is when it's appropriate to tell me, and then tell me when I can tell people that, and then I will. And don't tell me unless you want me to tell somebody, unless you tell me not to tell them.
I need America to know I had a great joke that I didn't just use.
You didn't use it. Hey guys, Ramsey Solutions started small and grew fast. Because of that rapid growth, there were times when our systems slowed us down. That's why we switched to NetSuite. It works for us and it'll help your business too. Whether you're starting on a card table like I did, or you're well on your way to becoming a multi-million-dollar company, NetSuite can scale with you and help you communicate and plan better. Because you know your day-to-day up and down and sideways, but accounting, analytics, and supply chain are on another level. So maybe you're just not tech savvy. That can be okay. NetSuite will help at your speed and whatever your situation. More than 37,000 companies use NetSuite to know their numbers and their business better. So check out NetSuite today and find out how they can help you become the business you want to be 5 or 30 years from now. And right now, you can download NetSuite's free KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Today's question of the day is brought to you by Neighborly, your hub for home services. When something in your home breaks, remember the Neighborly Done Right promise, which is it's not done until it's done right. Download the Neighborly app today and schedule your appointment, and you know you're going to get great service from a great company. These are good people. From Neighborly's network of local home services.
All right, today's question comes from Flustered in Florida.
Sounds like a Dear Abby
What
column.
would your name be, Dave? Handsome in Nashville.
Devilish Dave. Yeah, I don't know.
Today's question comes from Flustered in Florida. My wife and I have been married for 9 months, and for the last 3 months, we've been working the baby steps. We each came into the marriage with debt. Our total combined debt was close to $50,000, but I recently cashed in a whole life policy that was worth $22,000. We've used it to pay off all our credit cards and a small student loan that I had. Had no problem using this money this way, even though most of the credit card debt was hers. The way I feel is we're now one, and so is our debt. However, she feels very guilty about taking this money. It makes her feel indebted to me. I hate to make her feel like she needs to pay me back since I don't feel like this at all. Do you have any advice for this situation? What do you think, man?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a discussion of a view of marriage. You know, you're not in debt to your spouse ever. You're all into your, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. I mean, if you get the flu and she makes you chicken soup, do you have to pay for it? In sickness and in health. You know, if you're laying in the bed, sweating through a fever because you got the flu, and she's working and she's taking care of you and, so forth, do you have to write a check for that?
All right.
No. We took on each other's burdens, where our goal once we walk down that aisle is to serve each other the rest of our lives, to do everything we can to make the other one's person and life better. And that includes we took on each other's debt, we took on each other's income, we took on each other's assets, and we took on each other's crazy parents.
Yeah, I don't think, Flustered in Florida, I don't think you can make your wife feel anything. I don't think you have that kind of power.
Agreed.
And my guess is she probably grew up in a home where anytime somebody had to do something for her, whether it was buy her a new pair of shoes or some jeans or get her to school on time, she was made to feel like she was a burden to them. And so now she's married somebody who loves her and is all in, and she doesn't have for lack of a better term, she doesn't have the script for that. She doesn't have the wiring for that. And so she's going to have to choose on her own to feel that discomfort and realize you're not holding this over her head. This isn't an ROI. In fact, Dave, I talked to somebody recently who's had a relationship struggle, and he said the person that he was with was listing off all these things that they do versus, and I said, once you get into ROI comparison, your relationship's in trouble. Sometimes that's an important conversation to have because it's way out of whack. But man, once you start keeping tabs, that can be the death of a relationship. And she married someone that doesn't do that. And so she's going to have to learn how to not feel guilty every time she needs some support, some love and some care.
Well, this is just it's a philosophical view of a proper marriage relationship. Right. And the philosophical theological view is I no longer own anything. We do own everything. And that's training that you can decide to do that. I tell couples all the time, when you get married, your pronouns change. It's not mine and yours, it's ours.
It's ours. It's we.
We're French. We.
Right.
And so everything's a we. It's a pronoun is a plural now. And I'm not talking about pronouns out in the crazy world. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about out of the abundance of your heart, the mouth speaks, and go, we had some debt, we paid off the debt, which is how Flustered feels, but his wife didn't feel that way.
Right.
And so I think we just talk about it out loud and go, look, the right way for us to view this, both of us, is that everything that's mine is yours, and everything that's yours is mine. There's not any yours and mine. It's ours. And if we can get there and start using our intellect as an act of our will to practice that and practice thinking about it that way, then, it changes everything. I'll give you an extreme example out there for those of you listening. I mean, Sharon, my wife, has not earned $1 of income other than consignment sale clothing since Denise was born, and Denise is 38. Mm-hmm. But we have had a really good income during those 38 years.
Right.
You know, or 36 or whatever she is. But I mean, you know, but we have an income. The Ramseys have an income. I technically earned all of it. Technically, except for the part where I get to go to work all the time because she's doing all this other work.
That's right. Yeah.
But, you know, so you can't really bifurcate all that and it work out any other way. So we have an income. And, you know, and Sharon will use that. It took a while, but, you know, she was like, well, you know, you're making pretty good money. No, we are making pretty good money. Yeah. We make enough for us to buy that car that you're going to drive.
Right.
You know, and you really got to kind of practice it.
Yeah.
Especially when there's a single income family.
Yeah.
Or when one of you brought more assets to the table. In his case, they used his whole life policy to pay off her credit cards. But it's not his and her anymore once you get married. It's ours.
Here's another side. I made this mistake. I bought a car with cash, I don't know, 5 years ago. And we didn't take a note out on it. I just bought the car and went down to the courthouse. But I put it in just my name.
Ooh.
And it never occurred to me. And my wife said, that makes me feel like you went and did a thing on your own. And it never even, no, this is ours. All this is ours, right? And so even the going back to the courthouse and changing the name, this is John, both of our names are on the title.
Which costs a little money.
It's an important thing.
It's very important.
Yeah.
It's very important. Well done. So it's something flustered. You've been married a whole 9 months. And so it's a muscle you guys can grow into and learn. It's very possible. You're going to be just fine, but it gives us a chance to get up on a soapbox and tell everybody how to do it. Corey's in Norfolk, Virginia. Hi, Corey. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Good. Well, me and my wife, we're looking to move from Virginia to North Carolina. We have a toddler that is 3 years old, so we're looking to get to a lower crime city and somewhere with better schools. So we currently don't have any debt other than our mortgage. We owe about $240 on that. We can sell our home for around $450 here. We would be looking to purchase there for $500,000 to $600,000. We'd be looking to roll probably $175,000 from our current home in. We also have $125,000 total in savings. So just trying to get an idea of, is this a smart move for us to go ahead and make? Taking, you know, our emotions out of the situation, and how much would you put down if it is a good situation?
I put down everything I had except for 3 to 6 months of expenses, and I would put the payment or put the mortgage that you take out on a 15-year. As long as the payment's no more than a fourth of your take-home pay, then you can afford this.
Okay.
And I think you can.
All right.
I think it fits in your numbers. I think you're just fine. You are moving to a less expensive real estate market and still moving up in house, by the way, and blaming a little baby.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
I would much rather. Hey, Dave's onto something really important. I think, for the sake of your relationship with your kid, I think it's important for you and your wife to say, "Hey, we want to move for a better," because we have some goals for our life. But during that stress of moving, that stress of getting a new driver's license, it can be real easy to look at that kid and slowly start to resent that kid. We're doing this for you. No, you're not. You're doing it for y'all. And the kid, yeah, one new schools too, of course, but also it's for y'all.
Yep. That's how that works. Yeah, all of it's fine, but you did move up in house in a cheaper real estate market. Point being, you didn't have to accomplish the school goal only. But that's okay. You can afford it, I think, Corey. So I'd probably go right ahead. I always try to think about what I used to reason my way through that, and was that reason process factual? And that's why I'm challenging you, just to help you with that in the future. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Lee and Nicole are on the debt-free stage in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey,
Hi,
great. How are you?
Better than we deserve. Where do y'all live?
We live in Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, I love it. What a great town.
Beautiful.
Welcome to Nashville.
Thank
How
you.
much debt have you paid?
We paid off $462,000.
Whoa!
Yeah.
How long did this take?
Forever.
53 months.
53 months. And your range of income during that time?
We started out at about 180 and then up to 305.
Wow. What do y'all do for a living?
We're veterinarians.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Both of you.
Yep.
Both of us.
You own the practice?
No.
Oh, but both of you making 150, about 80
Yeah.
cow or thereabouts, huh? Good for y'all.
Student
Thank
loans?
you. It was.
Yeah, those vet loans will get you, man.
Big old
so
student
bad,
loans.
so bad. Yeah.
I took a call last week from a guy whose wife was wanting to go be a veterinarian. He was
Yeah.
he was an accountant. He was trying to figure out if it was worth it.
I was with you, yeah.
Yeah, I said, it was worth it. It's worth it, but you got to really think it through. 400. So you've been out of school 5 years, I'm guessing. 4 years.
Almost 9
years.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So what happened after, at this, it looks like about 5 years ago, this thing blew up. What's the story?
So it started in 2015. That's when we graduated vet school, and each of us owed probably $170,000 or so. We were put on an income-based repayment plan,
As you do.
and at 6.5% interest, $170,000. We weren't even
Skyrockets.
covering the interest.
Not
No,
even. Yeah.
not
and
even
so
close.
between 2015 and 2019, our loans went from $170,000 to well over $200,000 in
Each. So
each.
double.
And so it was early 2019.
They didn't do a lot of math in vet school, but even you knew that was
Yeah.
backward,
Too
right?
much. Yeah.
we had no plan to try to tackle this. We had absolutely no
It
idea
was so
what
stressful, for sure.
to do. And Thomas Greiner, he's a vet. He was our classmate. He and I were working together. And early 2019, he invited us to his church to attend FPU.
Oh, wow.
And Nicole, she was really excited about it. I was very hesitant. I was like, we make what we make. What's this Dave guy going to tell us that we don't already know about money?
Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong. So early 2019, we went through FPU. We actually missed week 9, the last one, because our son was born.
Oh, wow.
And him coming into the world, it just kind of changed
Changes,
everything.
you know.
We're like,
Yeah.
we got
That was the icing on the cake.
Oh, yeah.
we got to get rid of this
Yeah.
debt,
Yeah.
and we don't want him to have to
Go through what we did.
go through what we did. We want to be able
Yeah.
to pay for his college one day. So he was born in early 2019. We had like $1,000 worth of cell phone debt, $29,000 between two vehicles,
cars, yeah.
and the remaining $432,000 was our student loans. And so it was like late 2019.
Yeah.
We started in on my half of the student loans, and we still didn't even really know if we could do it. It seemed like such a huge mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Such a timeline. forever.
early 2020, COVID.
Thanks, COVID. It helped us so much.
So we got the pause on the interest, and that's when we just really
We were able to
threw everything
go
we
through
could at it.
everything.
And
yeah.
y'all were essential, so you kept working
Yeah,
like crazy
exactly.
people.
Worked more
Yeah.
than, yeah.
And you weren't part of the 99.9% of Americans who just sat. Y'all
Exactly.
y'all looked
We
at this
plowed
as an
through.
opportunity.
Mm-hmm. It saved us probably $80,000-$90,000 of interest.
You know what? I bet it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over this period of time. That's right,
Yeah.
because you hit it exactly right
Yep,
inside.
right at, yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing.
We started the loans just before COVID
just
hit.
before
Good for
COVID.
y'all.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then early this summer, we actually decided to move to Greenville.
Mm-hmm.
We had been living in Georgia the entire time. So we sold our house, took some of the equity from it, and paid off
Finished
the
the last
rest
bit.
of her
Yeah.
loans right before the payment started back.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So
Yeah.
perfect timing.
Yeah, and then took new vet jobs there in
Yep.
Greenville.
jobs in
Exactly.
Greenville.
Yeah.
Are y'all working in the same practice?
We actually
we
are.
are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Large animal, small animal, what?
Small.
Small.
Small animal. Okay.
And now y'all are 300 plus with no debt.
That's right.
We got to get a house again. So
Yeah.
that's where we're headed
We're
next.
in 3B now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Way to go, you guys.
That's a different house when you don't owe $400,000.
That's right. It is.
right.
It's
That's
going to be
right.
better.
Well, you don't need a bedroom for Sally Mae.
No.
That's,
That's right.
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Way to go, y'all.
Thank you.
You got to
Thank
feel
you.
like I can do anything. Like you got a superpower.
It's a weight lifted
going
off.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, hey, can I ask you a hard question?
Sure.
Yeah,
I want you
go
to
for
speak
it.
on behalf of everybody in this industry.
Okay.
And I say this industry, that's not true. With this mindset,
Mm.
millions of people go through FPU, and they know I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of people that make a lot of money that think ain't nobody gonna tell me.
Yep.
And they're real smart, and they got a lot of fancy letters after their name and some huge
Yeah.
framed diplomas on their walls,
And a huge student loan debt to go
and a
with it.
huge student loan debt, and they can't breathe, and they're arrogant at the same time.
Right.
What finally got through to you? Because
Yeah.
what you said, I hear that all the time from my medical doctor buddies, my nurse practitioner buddies.
What's
like,
this Ramsey guy?
like what's that? Oh, okay, just live on less than you. Okay, man. Like that's a hard thing to get through that ego.
Yeah. No, it was, just going through the class, it all made sense. And when I actually sat down and figured up the numbers and did
Yeah.
the calculations, it's like, yeah, this would work. Like all we've got to do is do it. We have
Yeah.
to set our mind to it and just do it.
Just plow through and go. Yeah.
So once I actually ran the numbers, that's what flipped the mindset
When
for me.
it's so daunting looking at the big picture like that, and then if you kind of scale it back and do one step at a time, like the baby steps show, it's much more manageable.
How
for
do you
sure.
eat an elephant? A bite at a time.
Exactly,
That's
yeah.
it. That's
That's
it.
it.
Way to go, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
proud of you. Who was
Yeah.
who was cheering you on, telling you could do it?
So Thomas, of course.
Thomas Grinder,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Yep.
got
Way to
us
go.
started. And then our good friends Marcy and Eric, they're watching. Hey.
Yep.
And then my parents as well. Yeah.
All right. Very good. Anybody roll their eyes and say you're crazy? A
So-
lot
A little bit,
of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
It came up quite a bit at work, and we
Sure.
were just mentioned, what we were doing, and some people were like, yeah, that's cool. Some people looked at us like we had six heads. It's like, what you're throwing $10,000 a month out the window, when you could be buying a bass boat. I mean, yeah.
Well, and for going that many years of retirement savings, it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, 53 months. I mean, you've been scratching for a while.
Yeah.
This is real.
Yeah.
Way to
And do
go,
you have the
y'all.
junkiest car pulling into the to the parking
Well,
lot?
not really, because that was part of our debt, right? So,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
a stupid move is like 6 months before I graduated vet school, I went and bought a brand new F-150.
Of course.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, that's
Got to.
required.
I had,
Yeah.
had to have
It's
it.
required. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
part
that
of being a vet.
I've still got that truck. It's 10 years old now, but it's paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, treat it right, and you can give it to your child when you turn 16.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great job, Lee
Thank
and
you.
Nicole. Way to go, y'all. We've got the Live and Give box for you. It has in it the Baby Steps Millionaires book. You'll be there in a minute if you're not already. And, of course, the Total Money Makeover book as well, and Financial Peace University, which did it for you guys. And you guys can, of course, give that to somebody or go back through again, whatever you need to do. All of this is for you to enjoy or to give away, the Live and Give box. So congratulations. Very proud of y'all, heroes.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
kicked it, man. That's a long run right
It
there.
is.
It's a
Yeah.
big deal. All right, Lee and Nicole, a couple of veterinarians in Greenville, South Carolina these days, making paid off $462,000 in 53 months, making 180 up to 305. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free. Yeah. That's how it's done right there. It is amazing that for a math nerd like me, that when you crunch numbers and can see that you can do it, how math becomes hope.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nobody thinks of math being hope, right? But when you go, wait a minute, I can do that. The first time I ever saw $100 a month invested from age 25 to age 65 at, in a decent growth stock mutual fund becomes $1,176,000. The power of compound interest. I thought I could do $100, and I'm only 22. That's the first time I saw it. And I thought, I'm going to be a millionaire. This is really going to be me. Bing! Math gave me hope.
It's amazing to me how many very, very smart people don't sit down and do that very thing. Because like him, he just ran the numbers, and then he thought, he's a smart guy. He's like, oh, I got a path now. Right?
I can do it. I can see it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, I've told you before about Christian Healthcare Ministries, a health cost-sharing ministry. But listen to Jenna, a CHM member. She says, one of my biggest concerns about entrepreneurship and motherhood was figuring out how to take care of our health expenses. But we have found a solution that works for us in an incredible way. She loves that with CHM, she can help other families who need it and receive help back when her own family has an eligible medical event. CHM has been a godsend for Jenna. That's her CHM story, and it could be yours. Learn more and join at chministries.org/budget.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Alex is in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Hey, Alex, how are you?
How's it going, guys? How are you?
Better than we deserve, sir. What's up?
Hey, so I am 20 years old. A little backstory about me. I am actually married. I know it's quite a young age with my beautiful high school sweetheart of 5 years. My father and my grandfather, unfortunately, passed away just a couple months ago.
Wow.
They mainly helped me when it came to finances, even though they were still heavy plastic swipers. My mom kept my dad's debit card away quite frequently because of that reason. My wife and I are kind of just at a standstill right now. The way we're saving money, I just feel like isn't right. We make about $78,000 a year. We both do patient transport at the university hospital, and we don't have much saved up. And we're just we've got about $22,000 or $2,200 in debt. $22,000 including our cars. We just bought our first home with a condo. And we're just kind of seeing what would be the best way and where we should start paying our debt off.
Okay. All right. It sounds like you've got the opportunity at a young age to really start a whole plan and implement every detail of that plan to get you to where you want to go. And right now, all you're doing is just trying to make sure we keep the lights on, keep food on the table, and nobody picks up anything and repos it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Instead of a plan, you're kind of in survival.
Did your granddad or dad leave you any money?
No, they did not. This is all of our money when it comes to with the money that we use for like down payments on our condo and for down payments on our vehicles and stuff has done 100% self-earned. We haven't received any money. We haven't loaned any money from family or anything.
So I want you to internalize really deeply in your heart what Dave just said. You and your wife at a really young age are deciding to change everything about how y'all do marriage, how you do money, and what your kid, when he reaches to be 20, when your daughter reaches the age of 20, what their life will look like because of the decisions y'all make today.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal what you're doing. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, way to go.
Thank you.
Very good question. The way where your mind is, the way you framed the question is you're in a really good place. So what we do is we have a class called Financial Peace University that's 9 weeks long, and about 10 million people have been through the class now over the last 30 years. And so, and it's, of course, the class has evolved and has gotten better over time. And, but in its current form, if you go through that, it's everything you should have been taught about money before we let you out of school, but nobody teaches it hardly. So we're going to give that to you guys as a belated wedding gift. And
Thank you.
I want you to go through the class with your wife. Both of you attend. Both of you go to the 9 lessons. Both of you buy off on, here's what we're going to do. You join hands. You get a very clear, high-definition picture of where what the future looks like and what the price has to be paid to get to that future. And when you do that, you'll go do it. And you're going to be in a position to, again, like John said, you'll be very wealthy. You haven't made any huge mistakes. You haven't been thrashing around. And I think that's the gift your granddad and your dad gave you. They didn't give you any real insight in where money comes from and how to think big about it, because they didn't have any. We know that because they didn't leave you any. But but they did kind of keep you tempered to where you haven't gone crazy like a lot of the people in the public have gone. So you've not got way huge piles of debt. You've not gone, some silly numbers in the numbers you gave me. There's some trouble there. There's some problems there, but there's nothing bad. Nothing super bad. So if you'll address the stuff that's there that we teach you and go do this, you're going to be in a really, really good position. Hang on. Austin will pick up and we'll get you signed up and get you guys to go through that at 20 years old. God almighty, I wish I'd gone through that at 20.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started. Be awesome.
Natalie is in Logan, Utah. Hey, Natalie, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Oh, my gosh. Hi, you guys. This is so exciting to talk to you. My heart is racing, which seems till I'm in my living room. But I'm so excited to talk to you guys today.
Well, we're excited to talk to you. How can we help?
Okay, so I am a mom. I have 2 little boys. I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-month-old. And so ever since our 3-year-old was born, we've put a small amount of money to the side for his future. And so what I'm wondering is I recently found out about 529 plans. So I'm trying to figure out, we've already have some money saved up. And so it's like, what's the best way to invest that for our children? Should we invest it in stocks? Should we put it in CDs? Or I guess, what do you think about 529 accounts? That's really what I'm wondering here.
Well, 529 is used for education. It grows tax-free, which is wonderful. And we always recommend you put that in good mutual funds that you control. 529, in other words, what we're suggesting is mutual funds, and the way it's treated for taxes is dictated by 529. And just like IRA is not a real investment, IRA is how an investment is treated for taxes. And so that's what you're looking for here. So if you're saving for a kid's college, 529 is the way to go. And you can learn about them. They're really easy to learn about. Just go to RamseySolutions.com, click on SmartVestor Pro. You can sit down with some of the folks that we endorse around the country for helping people with the heart of a teacher with their investments, and they can help you get that started. How much have you been putting aside for these kids?
So both of my boys get $40 a month, so it's $80 a month that we put away for them.
Okay. All right. Not bad at all. Good. And so, they can sit down with you and help you put that together, and, that's going to turn into some money. I mean, it's going to end up with some money there. An ESA is the 529's cousin, the educational savings account, same thing. Buy a mutual fund and qualify it as an ESA. The maximum on it is $2,000 per year, which would be $166.67 per child per month. And if you did that from 0 to 18, you'd have about $125,000, give or take, in there in that 529. You would have only put in about, 2,000 times 18. You would put in about $36,000. So you got about $90,000 growth that's tax-free. And so that for fully funding a baby at $2,000 a year, $166.67 a month, that sets you up. And that today would send you to an in-state school for your undergrad. That would take care of it.
What's the max on a 529?
It depends on the state. $10,000 a year usually. You can put more in it than you should, or sometimes you can load it up like 3 or 4 years. Put $10,000 in, and then quit.
Set it and forget it.
It'll grow. It'll grow up to be enough then, and you don't have to keep adding to it every month the whole 18 years.
And I've heard recently that there was adjustment made the last couple of years that if you end up putting enough money in the 529, your kid goes to college, that they can roll that into an IRA at some point?
You can move it to a Roth IRA, but the limitations on it are pretty severe. So I really wouldn't.
Think that way.
Yeah, I would more likely move it to another family member to go to school.
Okay.
More than likely. It's going to be a better use of the money, but because the formula they're using to what you can move and how long you have to wait to move it and all that, there was a good idea, and then they mucked it up with too many rules. But but either way, it's still a great place to save money for a kid for college. If they're not going to go to college, it's not a great place because it has to be used for education for someone, or that $90,000 in growth will be penalized. And so you're not going to, the fact that it grew tax-free, all that wonderful idea is gone if you don't use it for that. So you got to make sure that that's what we roll up for. But here's the thing. I have never met someone. Oh, by the way, if the kid gets a scholarship, you can take that much out of the 529 and pay no taxes on it at all. So if your kid gets a $2,000 scholarship, you can take $2,000 out of the 529, put it in your pocket.
That's always been the argument. What if my kid gets a soccer scholarship or is a genius?
You can, if you get a scholarship, you can take it out. But here's the thing. I've been doing this 30 years. I have yet to run into a single person call me up and said, Dave, you told me to save up for my kid's college, and I hate it. I hate you. I screwed up everything.
I hate you.
This is The Ramsey Show. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today, Ramsey personality and host of the Dr. John Deloney Show. Own Your Past, Change Your Future was his first one. You can check that out, or How to Build a Non-Anxious Life, second #1 bestseller, just came out last fall. You can check it out as well. Jonathan is with us in Fort Myers, Florida. Hey, Jonathan, what's up in your world?
Hi, how are you doing today, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I had a situation happen a couple years ago during COVID. My mother passed away. She was actually killed by her new husband.
Oh, my gosh.
Man.
Yeah, they were both in their late 70s, and they left me with quite a bit of money.
Wow.
So I never made more than about $85,000 a year, and then was left with a couple $1 million. And I hope I've been doing the right steps with what I've done with it. I just wanted to get mostly some reassurance that I've been doing the right things, or what you would recommend moving forward with this.
Oh, my gosh.
How have you navigated the last few years with the loss of your mom?
The first year wasn't too well. Kind of went backwards probably a little bit, and then I got a couple kids, and I tried to get myself together and be better for my kids, and I think I've been doing pretty well the last 2 years.
How old are you, Jonathan?
36.
Okay. And I assume the husband's been put in jail?
No, he killed himself afterwards.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
wow.
in our house that we grew up in.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Jeez, man.
Well, that just makes it. I mean, managing $2 million that you don't know how to manage is freaky enough, and then you put this layer on it, it just gets super freaky, right?
Yeah, it's a little more than that. We were left about $2.5 million from our parents, and then he left us another $1.1 million.
Oh, wow.
Which we weren't expecting. We didn't know that we were written into his will.
Wow.
Does that money feel weird, or are you happy to spend it?
I've spent. I haven't really. I wouldn't say I've spent it. I've used most of it to live off of the last couple years from the new husband. Mm-hmm. He left us 2 IRAs, a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. Mm-hmm. So I've been pulling.
All right, let me get past all the and just answer your question. So, how much money do you have today?
Today, let me just flip over here. I've got total between properties and everything.
Yes.
I would say about $3.5 million, $4 million.
All right, and you're still working, making $80.
No, I haven't been working since the day she died.
Oh, wow. Okay. What did you do for a living?
I worked in restaurants mostly, bartender, sommelier, and server.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the reason I didn't go back to work was a lot of that. The reason why I made good money was because I was always forward about my life and talking to people about things in my life, and I just felt like I couldn't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can't go into this story, part of the story anyway. Wow. Okay. Are you married still or single?
No, I've never been married. I'm single.
You said you had kids. Okay.
Yeah, 2 children. One that I have full custody of, one that I split custody.
Okay.
An important part of your recovery moving forward is you're gonna have to get a job.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get a purpose, a thing to do, a thing to go to, a thing that you are a part of, that the world's gonna be better because you were a part of it. You got that?
Yeah, I feel that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's time to go back to work, Jonathan. Doing something.
Yeah, I'm actually starting a business this year, a tour boat business.
A what business?
Tour boat?
A tiki boat, tour boat.
Oh, okay. All right. You're buying the boat and gonna do tours
and do trips on the boat.
When?
Yeah. The boat's going to be delivered in April or May of this year, and we should be operating by June.
Okay.
What did you spend on that boat?
$220,000 total.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now you're going to be leaning in, learning how to run a business, learning how to handle and operate the boat. You're going to be leaning in on all of this. I really want you to go make a living for your sake, because at 36, doing nothing is not a plan. Okay.
Yeah.
Emotionally, spiritually. John's right about that. Now, so let's pretend that you're making a living. You don't need this money then, right? So now we just need to invest this money well.
Yes.
Okay. Jonathan, I buy 2 things for investments. The first thing I tell people, and I was with a bunch of wealthy people this weekend, do not put money in something you don't understand. Don't do it because I do it. Don't do it because somebody else says to do it, or you read an article once. That's a nightmare way to lose money. Put money in something you understand. Now, that may mean you need to go to school a little bit by sitting with an investment advisor and letting them teach you. But I buy real estate that I pay cash for, because I like the real estate business.
I've done that already.
Okay. And I buy mutual funds. And that's all I buy.
Okay. I've got about total about $1.8 million in real estate.
Okay. And it's making money, right?
I have one house that's going to be worth about $1.2 million, and I'm planning on renting that.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be. When? Why is it not worth that now?
It's about to be finished being built, and I think in March or April of this year it'll be done.
Okay, all right. So you're going to have
and then I have another rental house, and then I have the house I live in.
Okay, that's fine. Great. Now manage those to where they make a good return on the amount of money you have tied up in them, and then sit down with a good someone like a SmartVestor Pro. You can find them at RamseySolutions.com, and they'll help you sit down and start to understand some mutual funds and invest it. But, I mean, if you make 10% on $3 million average across those investments, then you'd have $300,000 a year coming in. If you don't touch it in 7 years, that $3 million at 10% would be worth about $4 million, or would be worth about $6 million. In 7 more years, it'd be worth about 12. In 7 more years, it'd be worth 24. That's 21 years from today. You're 36. That puts you at 57 with $24 million.
I like that.
Okay, that's you working, providing your own living, not touching these investments, and letting them just grow at an average growth rate of 10% a year. And that's invested in mutual funds and real estate. Now, it's a little more complicated than that, but basically that's how the math will roll out. The trick here to the thing is put money in stuff that's steady and is predictable. Not super conservative, but we're not taking any big risks here. We're not trying to reinvent the crypto world or some bull
And
crap
don't buy
like
a tiki boat for $250,000 and then in 6 months go and be like, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to buy a snow cone stand, and then you're going to
stay on
small
track.
Business yourself broke.
Yeah, stay on track with that. And so you're now in the tiki boat business for the next decade, buddy. And you're going to make a go of it. You don't get, John's right, you don't get to change. Hey, if you're in over your head with student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, if private student loan debt is taking away your financial peace and you don't see any way out, you need Y Refi. They're not a debt settlement company, and they're not connected to a bank. Y Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. So when you refinance your private student loan debt with Y Refi, you'll have a payment you can afford with a low fixed interest rate you couldn't get anywhere else to help you stick to your budget and work the debt snowball. And you can save thousands of dollars. To learn more about this custom refinancing option and a lump sum payoff option you could qualify for after 24 months, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Ann is with us in New Orleans. Hi, Ann. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Our honor. How can we help?
Okay, my question is, my husband and I, my ex-husband and I, were a co-signer on my son's condo back in 2004. And since that time, my son is unable to pay his mortgage because he's unemployed. He lost his job. And
Since
he's been
2004?
Since April. No. He purchased the condo in 2004.
Okay.
This past April, he lost his job, and he's been unable to pay the mortgage.
How many times did you pay it since 2004?
Oh, it's happened before. About 10 years ago, he ran into trouble paying his mortgage, and he was able to do a forbearance. And, of course, I assisted financially at that time.
And you keep using the word unable. Is he unable or is he unwilling?
Yeah, why do you not have a job?
One of my best friends in the world is a paraplegic. He is unable.
No. He's physically capable.
Okay.
He has not found a job since April. He says he's looking.
And one of the hottest.
He can't find a job.
One of the hottest hiring markets in human history. He's chosen not to work.
I guess so.
Okay, let's use. I just want to call a spade because it helps us make decisions, right?
Yeah. Now.
Yeah, understand.
You're still on the mortgage.
Yes, my ex-husband and I are co-signers, so we're responsible for paying the note if he does not.
And he's not been paying it.
Yes, so I have been paying it since April.
Oh.
My ex-husband made about 3 of the mortgage payments. So now I want to know what would be the best avenue for me to convince my son to sell it let it go for foreclosure. And I told him, or else you get a job and you pick up the payment. But I don't want it to go to foreclosure because I don't want it to affect my credit. My credit rating is 820.
Every time it's paid late, it affects your credit.
Yes, I understand. So I just don't know if there's any options for me.
Is he on the note at all?
Co-signer.
Yeah.
Is he on the note?
He's my son is the owner of it.
Yeah, he's on the note. She's
So all
the
three of you.
co-signer. Yeah, yeah. You can't force him to sell it. You can just talk him into selling it. Will he sell it if you tell him to?
No, he's dragging his feet about that. He
Yeah,
really doesn't.
no kidding.
Well, he's dragging his feet because he knows you're going to pay. For 20 years, you bailed him out.
Yes, I understand that.
And you've probably given him some stern talking tos over the last 20 years, and then
Yes, I have.
you still paid it. So yeah, he's dragging his feet because you taught him how to. I think you have to sit down and say, "I'm not paying this rent." Dave, I'll leave it to you. I mean, it's gonna ruin your.
Yeah, you're going to get foreclosed on if he gets foreclosed on.
Yeah.
That's how this works. So
Can you
Right.
afford to buy
And
him out?
I could. But I just don't know what my best options are because if he would sell me the condo, then it's mine, right? For me to do what I want with it.
Exactly. And then you
And
can
if he-
then you
if
just
he
sell
knows-
it. Then you sell it and
Right.
resell it and get your money back out, and at least that way you didn't lose anything. But yeah, you could just say, all right, let's get it appraised. I'm gonna buy it from you, and then you put it on the market and sell it. That's what's best for you. That is unbelievably aggravating, and it's not necessarily what's best for him. What's best for him is to experience some pain. But he's not going to in this scenario unless you do. That's the problem with co-signing. You get to experience the pain with him.
And he's going to play chicken with you, and you've got a lot more to lose than he does financially, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And what's
Yes, I
the
do.
what's the
I just
condo worth?
Maybe about 40,000.
Worth?
45. No, I would. Well, he would be lucky if he could get 60 for it.
Oh my God!
He
What do
owes-
you owe on it?
30,
Okay.
and he's got 11 more years.
Okay. Go tell him that he can no longer screw up your life with his laziness. He needs to sell you this condo, even if you buy it for whatever. Have a real estate agent give you an appraisal, buy it for that amount, put it back on the market, and resell it. And he needs to move.
Okay.
Yeah. That protects you. For some reason I thought this was a $600,000 condo. It's a $60,000.
No.
Yeah, just you may lose a couple $1,000 here or there by moving all this gyration around, but you need to get out of this trap you put yourself in, and the trap is co-signing. You can't get out of the trap. You're either going to be an enabler or you're not going to pay, and then he's going to get foreclosed on, which means you're going to have a foreclosure on you, and then they're going to come around looking for all of you, wanting some money out of y'all because the condo won't bring enough at repo to even cover the old mortgage on it. But it's a piece of crap condo to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm the one.
Ann,
I'm sorry.
will you forgive yourself for the divorce? Finally.
Yeah. Yes.
You're still
I
trying to
do.
make that right with him? Stop. It's 20 years.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose some money, but you're also gonna lose your relationship with your son. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I would buy it from him, have him move out, and turn around, put it right back on the market, and sell it. And if you lose a little bit that way, that gets you out of this trap. And then you have a standalone relationship with your son that's mother's son that is no longer co-signer. Because co-signer's putting a strain on everything. It's making you do things you don't feel good about.
And it makes you resent your son. Every time that phone rings, you feel your chest tighten up because what's he going to ask for? Like it's altered your relationship.
What's he going to ask for now? Yeah, this time because you're aggravated with him like we are for being lazy, not working since April. My God, how much does it take to pay the condo note on $30,000? I mean, you can do Uber one day a month and pull this off. This is about the laziest human I've run into.
That's pretty rough.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's just, I mean, it's not like it's a lot of money. Hey, I don't even know how the boy's eating. Oh, yeah, I do. Ann.
Yeah, Ann's making sure he's got groceries.
Yeah. So, Ann, you got to stop it. It's time you put him out and let him figure out how to do life, and just love him from a distance that doesn't include your checkbook for the rest of his life. And that's the biggest favor you can do him and yourself. And moms and dads out there, never, ever co-sign.
It's not an act of love. It's not.
It's the ultimate enabling, and it locks you into enabling, because out of self-preservation, you have to cover the stupidity of the other party.
What about this, Dave? I'm trying to think of how this situation for her could go wrong. Is there a moment when, and again, I know I'm speaking in ratios here, but $50,000 against what Ann has is not a lot of money. Can she buy this thing and hand it over to him and walk away, and dust her hands off, walk away? Is that too much enabling?
I wouldn't do that. No.
Yeah.
No. I think it's.
I think he's not going to move, is what I think, or he's not going to sell it
to his mom.
Yeah.
Well, then I would just take the pain of being foreclosed on.
You would?
I'd just stop.
Okay.
You're either going to sell it to me, or the days of me giving you money are done.
They're over. And that's what I'm getting at.
Either you're going to sell this to me, or you're going to have to figure it out.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
Because this is so bad for him.
Yeah.
She stunted his emotional growth. I mean, he's 6 years freaking old.
Yeah.
He can't get a job since April to pay condo notes on $30,000. This is lame.
Yeah.
This is really a lame boy.
Especially when we talk to elementary school teachers trapped in a New York apartment during COVID who pay off six figures because they drive and scratch and claw and flip and do whatever they got to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's
kid
tough.
could sell enough clothing out of his closet at a consignment sale.
You could plasma your way to that one.
It's just not any money. So, honey, you got to get him free of you, and you got to get free of him in order to have a decent relationship with him, and in order for him to ever be a real man.
And it's going to cost you that precious $820 that you're really proud of. It's going to cost you that.
Who cares about that?
Let that stupid thing go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Now, condo's never been late. She's paid it on time every time.
Every time.
It's never been late. It wouldn't be $820. This is the Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com and save up to 35% off everything site-wide. That's Blinds.com to learn more. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Ryan and Haley are with us on the debt-free stage. Yep, right here in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. How are you guys?
Great. Wonderful. How are you?
Good. Better than we deserve. Where do you live?
Lewisburg, Kansas, about 45 minutes south of Kansas City.
So, you need to be wearing some Kansas City gear today for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wide right, baby.
Heck yeah.
Here we go, man. Here we go. Way to go. Good stuff. So, how much debt have you guys paid off?
$458,680.
Wow. Love it. How long did that take?
6 years.
6 years. And your range of income during that time?
Well, when we first started, it was around 100. Our peak was 260, and we went down to 112 now.
Okay.
That was with the job change.
Okay.
So.
All right. Very cool. Good. And $459,000. What kind of debt was this?
A little bit of everything, of course. So we have a few cars that we paid off. Of course, our student loans we paid for. Credit cards and our house.
Paid off your house.
100%.
Looking at weird people.
Yes.
I love it. Very good. Great job. What's this house worth?
It's right at $350.
Good for you. Man, that's awesome. How old are you two?
35.
And have a paid-for house, and now don't have to work as much, so took a different job and downsized one job and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Finally got to do the thing he likes to do.
Yep.
And doesn't
Love
have
it.
to work.
Yeah.
You know.
Very, very cool. Excellent job. Well, for those of you out there in America that don't know, we have a program here at Ramsey called Smart Dollar, and it's from the financial wellness side of things. What happens is companies buy Smart Dollar and provide the financial curriculum free to their employees. And it's having a massive impact on employees all across America. U-Haul had a bunch of their folks come on here a few months ago and do debt-free screams. We've had, Costco has taken their folks through it. It's and companies of all sizes, not just huge ones like U-Haul and Costco. But I understand that your company bought Smart Dollar, and that's what got you guys started. Is that right?
That is, for the most part. I mean, we were already doing the program really before, but it just added an extra when we started working there, because I started working there about 8 months ago.
Oh, okay. So you were well on your way
already.
And this just helped you. The new job that you got that you love is the company that has Smart Dollar.
Yep.
Well, that's good news.
It's great.
Okay. So a little bit worried about it there for a minute. All right. And so your company name that furnishes Smart Dollar is what?
Strategy LLC.
Strategy LLC.
Yes.
What do they do?
It's a marketing company, web development, and then IT.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm in the IT side.
Okay, cool. And Haley, what did you used to do?
I'm a nurse.
You are a nurse.
I am.
Okay. Good. Very good.
So what happened this many months ago? They all just decided
even before
we're done.
Strategy LLC was doing it, you guys were already game on, and then you 60 months into this or 6 years into this, you knock it out. What got all this started? John's right.
Well, we got married back in 2017, and then we started making some decent money. And so when you make decent money, you go out and buy new things.
Oh, of course.
Bought 3 new vehicles within like 6 months, brand new. So a lot of depriciation
For
on
two
those
drivers?
For 2 drivers.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yep.
you have
Continue.
toys too. So
Motorcycles.
all that. So we bought those, and then when we're paying $2,000 a month on just payments
Good
for
Lord.
3 vehicles.
Good Lord.
It kind of is overwhelming.
It was a wake-up call.
Yeah, kind of a wake-up call kind of thing. So then our son, he was born 19. He's staying home today, but he was born 21. Sorry, 21, and we were like, we just want to have a good life for him, and so we just kind of buckled down before and just went after it. So
Okay, very fine. So you ran into us earlier
yeah,
in the
so
process, and then it was just added on to when
That's
you went
correct.
to work for Strategy LLC.
Yep,
Okay.
it was an awesome program.
All right.
Haley, how did you convince him to sell the motorcycle?
We didn't.
Oh, okay.
They're all paid for.
Oh, you just
and we
paid-
have to keep them.
You just
Yeah.
paid him off. Okay.
We paid him off.
Yeah. She's smiling. We got to keep them. She's riding it.
We did.
Yeah.
She has her own as well.
Yeah,
I think, so.
So what are these bikes?
You married well, Ryan.
Harleys.
They're Harleys. So yeah, I've got
Harley.
a Street Glide, and then she's got a Sportster. So
I love it. Very fun.
You are so much cooler than I am, Haley. It's embarrassing. That's a very low bar, but you're way cooler, man.
Yeah. Way to go, you guys.
Thank you.
And you're how old?
35.
And you have a paid-for house, $350,000.
Mhm.
How's that feel?
It's amazing. It's just different. I mean, it's hard to imagine it, really. We actually made our last payment, and it was like October 1st, I think we did, and it's still not settling yet.
We had made the goal to ourselves that we wanted to pay it off by Christmas, and that would be our Christmas present to ourselves. So we really cranked down and worked extra shifts, and he was working a couple of extra side jobs to make the extra money, and we were able to pay it in October, not in December.
I love it. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Man, it's a great place you are. 6 years is a long time to crank on this.
It is.
How did you stay with it?
Well, we really were like hyper focused on it the last 2 years mainly. We really enjoyed like your podcasts and the books and everything that we've been reading over the years. But the last 2 years are really when we've been cranking down and focusing on it.
A lot of our culture will tell us that success is a dollar amount. And we don't often ask the question, like, what do I actually want to be doing? We just get good at something, and then they reward us with money, and we do more of it, and we do it faster, and then all of a sudden we're making great money, and everyone's telling us, look how lucky you should feel, and inside you're dying, right?
Oh, yeah.
Talk to the person who feels like they have golden handcuffs, they're stuck, because, quote-unquote, they make all this money. You look like a guy who's free. Y'all look like a family who's free, and y'all made a choice to basically cut your income in half, right?
We did.
But it looks like it was the right thing for y'all.
Yeah, you just gotta. I mean, as long as you focus and you work, and if you have a spouse, you work with them together. You have to do it both together. It can't be separate, and that's the biggest thing. We were helping each other, kind of feeding off each other, and I think that's the best thing. Or if you don't have any spouse or anybody, you got to find somebody to keep you accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you get some positive peer pressure with the guys at your company all doing this at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty cool because they're all know we paid the house off, and they're all like, now we want to do this too. So
you're inspiring them.
That's kind of and it's a very good feeling. I mean, we don't like to, we're not those type of people, but it's kind of really inspiring and stuff, even for us to be here. So
well, there's a difference between bragging and setting an example.
Correct.
Yeah, and you just set an example. Well done. Good for you guys. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Who was cheering you along? Who was telling you to go for it?
I mean, really everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, our whole family, both sides.
My son.
Yeah.
Our son.
He's
even though he's only 2, he's just been our like emotional support guy. He's been hanging in there with us.
Yeah, my dad started me a lot when we would drive around. He'd be listening to your podcasts, and this was long time ago, and just never really did it. And my dad passed away in 19, and so we that was one thing I wanted to do, is I wanted to finish this. I wanted to do this and kind of for him. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, he's smiling.
Oh yeah,
smiling from heaven at you right now.
Yeah, what a way to honor your dad, man. That's cool.
Yep, very
cool.
awesome.
All right. We've got the Live and Give box for you. That includes the Baby Steps Millionaires book. You're on your way to that for sure. Total Money Makeover book, Financial Peace University. You'll be able to give that away since Strategy LLC is furnishing Smart Dollar to their whole team. And tell them thanks for us. We appreciate it.
Sure.
That's pretty incredible. This is what happens, employers, when you furnish something like financial wellness like this to a Smart Dollar program to your employees. They're set up to win like this. This is incredible. All right, Ryan and Haley. Wow, Kansas City, $459,000 paid off in 6 years, making $100 to $260. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Ready? 3,
2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Yeah! Love it. Way to go, you guys.
Hey, you mentioned something, Dave, that I don't want us to lose. Now that company put this benefit out, they're really successful. He's going to be a better employee.
Yep.
He's going to be a more peaceful employee.
Yep.
They get to pay him less. He's going to knock it out of the park for him.
Yep. SmartDollar.com. Check it out, boys. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Dan is with us in Greenville, South Carolina. Hi, Dan. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Hope you guys are doing well.
We are, sir. What's up?
So a question for you about I'm on a all-commission position, and in reading your book in regards to the Hills and Valleys account that you have set up, So I've got myself budgeted out to the end of April, and then I've got about $12,000 extra on top of that. Do I throw that extra $12,000 straight at debt, or should I be adding another line item into my budget?
No, just throw it at debt. If you're in are you in baby step 2?
Correct.
Yeah, just list your debts smallest to largest. Every excess dollar you can squeeze out of your budget above your basic living expenses, you throw it at that. Now, do you have any money? Do you have down months below where you don't even make enough commission to cover your basics?
Yes. Yeah. So commercial real estate. So, for instance, December commission check was $67,000 for December, but the probably 6 months before that, it was $0 to $1,000. You know, so it really varies, and so I have to budget myself out for months at a time. And my worry is that I throw some extra money when I have it at some debt, and then maybe a deal doesn't go through or a deal gets extended, and there I am with a paid off car, but I should have had money in my account. So that's what I'm struggling with there.
Yeah, it's what we're trying to do is reasonably predict the volatility. And how long have you been doing this?
3 years.
Commercial real estate, okay. I mean, you probably can get some comfort from looking at the patterns if you went back 3 years. You should see a trend line up in your income overall. Your overall income should be going up over 3 years. You should be making more 3 years in than you did the first year, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you can tell if there's some kind of a rhythm at all to, about how often you see checks coming and going. But yeah, you just, the Valley account, if you're going to have an extreme volatility like you do, where you literally have zero or have $1,000 or something, then you've got to set aside money for as many months in that Valley account, because you're in a Valley, to cover your basic needs till you get another check in. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. So, there's not a... We have to try to predict the future is what we're doing, right? Which of course is an imperfect science, but if you had 6 months, this is not your emergency fund. This is money to eat with. Okay? This is us planning to make no money for 4 months. So we set 4 months of basics aside in a separate account. That's called the Valley account. You do that when you have a hill like December with $67,000 in 1 month. So the trick is to try to ascertain with some kind of pattern, if you look on your look back, how often am I going to have to dip into this account to eat and to keep the basic lights on, and everything above that, then you need to dump. But you should reach a point where you're getting something every month. You should not continue to have zeros the rest of your life. I mean, you ought to be able to get your pipeline full to where something is coming out all the time. Now, it might take a little while to get there, or it might be every other month or something, but otherwise, I'm going to put something else in your mix. You're only elephant hunting, and I'm going to put a few rabbits in your mix as well. I mean, let's try to do some lease deals or something that's a little smaller, a little more quick to close, that kind of thing, than just selling the $35 million apartment complex or whatever. If you're only hunting elephants, you may have this the rest of your life. But you really do have to get something built up to where you're not sitting around hungry waiting on one of these checks. You're right. But the magic is to predict the future. That's tells you how much you got to set aside for how many down months you're going to have. And that's very difficult to do in your world, but that is the concept. You nailed it when you called in. Thanks for joining us. Nothing quite like, even in something as sophisticated as commercial real estate, nothing smells bad like a salesman that's broke.
Yeah, and the analogy you gave is good, and I think I could put that on everything. Marriages, on work relationships, on jobs. So often we sit around waiting for the perfect situation. It's got to be a home run, or I'm not swinging the bat, and you end up striking out a whole bunch, right? Or you get real hungry, and then it makes you not an effective salesman.
Yep.
But that elephant hunting, man, finding another way to get some money. That's what I was going to ask him. Like, for those 4 months, are you making calls all day? Are you out surveying properties all day and you just can't get anything? Because that may not be your calling, man. If 4 months you got nothing, man, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, and one $35 million deal does not take 4 months of 40-hour work weeks.
That's right.
That's not how it works.
Right.
It's all when you're on, you got to be on, but you're not there 40 hours.
They got to talk to their team and their banker and their people,
but not for 40 hours a week for 4 months.
Right.
So you need to have other stuff in your pipeline, and that's the nature of the real estate business. I've been in it my whole life in one way or another. All right, Deborah is with us in Milwaukee. Hi, Deborah. How are you?
Hi there. Thank you for having me.
Sure. How can we help?
Okay. My daughter's actually introduced me to your name in December.
Okay.
And I've been listening to you quite a bit. So, real quick, I'm retired. I've been retired for a while, and I'm $25,000 in credit card debt.
Ruh-roh.
Yep, Ruh-roh was right. I guess as I've listened to you guys the different times, and it's like, and I see that I've turned that blind eye to what was happening, and so when I just look at everything, I don't know how to start everything. So I've signed up for everything that you have, and I got the book the other day, and but
so how old are you?
I am 68.
68, and how much in credit card debt have you run up?
25,500.
25,000. Do you have any money?
No.
None.
I mean, well, I only have about 20,000 in my 401k because about 30,000 because I messed that up too.
Well, what are you living on? Do you have a retirement income from your old job?
No, that's done. I get $38.79. That's my income every month. And
Social Security?
Yeah, that's our Social Security.
It's Social Security. I get something from a job that I worked for about 10 years back in the 80s.
How's your health?
My health is okay.
Okay.
My health is okay. And I have a condo that I own outright.
Good. That you live in?
No, I do not. I live in a home with my husband.
Oh. What does your husband make, pray tell?
He makes over $100,000. And I'm going to tell you, I listened to your
Deborah
earlier. He and I have always been separate.
Yeah, not anymore. Now he's married to a woman that's got $28,000 in debt, and he's 68. I thought you were a single 68-year-old lady living on Social Security, and I was about to put you to work until I discovered you have a husband that has a $100,000 income. And now I'm about to take some of his money to pay off his wife's debt, which is what he needs to do. Tell Bubba to step up and take care of this. And by the way, you need to cut up your credit cards, sister. Chop them all up and never do that again. But you guys you're together. If he gets sick, you're going to take care of him. And right now you're sick and he's going to take care of you.
And y'all been playing house for a long, long time. And now y'all need to have a conversation about what the back 20 years is going to look like.
Yeah.
And that's going to be y'all working together financially, health-wise, marriage-wise, house-wise. Y'all got too much money. You got an extra paid-for house over here. You got too much stuff going around to be this broke.
And they're scared about it.
Yeah, unable to breathe because of Social Security. Yeah. The magic, listen, the plans are important. The books are great. Sometimes the magic is in that hard work or in that really hard conversation. That's where you are.
Yeah. You guys need to sit down and talk about this, and he needs to help you pay it off. It's silly to sell a condo to pay off this when he makes that kind of money. This is The Ramsey Show. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth. do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, #1 best-selling author of the book Paycheck to Purpose, host of The Ken Coleman Show, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ken, long before there was a Ken Coleman, when I first started this broadcast a long time ago, it was called The Money Game.
Yes.
And back in those days, 30 years ago, we were on in Nashville only. And a friend of mine that I had known from church put a book out helping people like you do in the career space, 48 Days to the Work You Love. His name's Dan Miller. And Dan and his wife Joanne have been friends of Sharon's and mine for almost 40 years now.
Wow.
And 48 Days became a perennial bestseller, sold millions of copies, and helped millions of people in the same space that you're in with their career and selecting the right passion and all of those kinds of things. Dan and I were in a Bible study with a bunch of high-performing guys. We call it the Eagles Group, when we met every Wednesday morning for 14 years. And that group disbanded. It ran its course several years ago, about a decade ago or so. And he and Joanne moved to Florida, and he called me in December and told me he had a very aggressive cancer, and he went home to be with Jesus last night about 9:15. And so lost a dear friend and a guy that's an icon in the space that you're in, for sure.
Yeah.
And has helped a lot of people in that career space. So we'll honor him today and continue to cry and pray with his family. And so just an incredible friend, incredible man. Great dad, great husband, too. That's what people, sometimes behind the scenes, you don't know what people are. And this guy's like the real dude.
Well, you know, I had the privilege of having dinner with a couple guys that he has mentored, and about my age. And just the way they talked about him. Of course, I got to know Dan, was on his show, and had interviewed Dan on my show as well. And, you know, when you think about someone's legacy, it's the impact that they leave behind that has nothing to do with the public stuff. And he had a tremendous impact there. But just the way he has impacted people for decades, pouring into guys in a mastermind group. I got to talk to two of these guys, and they both teared up just talking about the impact that he had on their lives.
Yep,
which is what it's all about.
Absolutely. Quite a legacy.
Yeah.
Quite a legacy.
Great man.
Quite a guy. So our condolences to our friends there.
Yeah.
And just take a second and honor the work that he had done. It's absolutely incredible. All right, Billy is with us. Billy is in Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, Billy. How are you?
Hello, Dave. Hello, Ken. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Well, my wife and I want to make a new car purchase for the first time in over a decade, and I just want to make sure that it's going to be a pretty sizable car purchase, and I just want to make sure that this makes sense from your perspective. We've been followers of yours for quite some time now, and I would just like to get the Dave blessing if I can.
Well, it's not something that's required for a car, I can tell you that. If you've been following us a long time, you know that we don't buy new cars unless you have at least $1 million net worth. Are you talking about new to you or a brand new car?
It's a brand new car, and the only reason why I'm calling in is because before I was about 10 grand underneath the millionaire status, and now as of this morning, I'm $3,909 over the millionaire status.
Just crossed the finish line.
All right. So you're ready to go on that one. All right. And you probably also know we tell folks, regardless of their level of wealth, not to buy things with wheels and motors all added together that equals more than half your annual income. So what's your household income?
About $500,000.
Wow. You're killing it. What do you do for a living?
I'm a solutions architect at a technology company, and my wife's a tech sales executive at a startup.
Phenomenal. Well, way to go, you guys. Well, it sounds like you're going to be able to afford this car. What is it? What kind of car?
It's an electric SUV. It's a Rivian, and I know you're a car guy, so it goes 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
Yeah, I know the Rivian, yeah. I was talking to a guy who bought one the other day. I parked beside him at church, and I parked my Raptor beside him. We were talking about it as we were walking into church. It was a great conversation. It was a lot of fun.
I'll bet.
So it's a wonderful vehicle for. I mean, if you like the electric stuff, everybody. I mean, they're just. It's an incredible. The engineering is very cool. What is that thing? About 90 grand, 100 grand?
Out the door with tax title license and everything, $98,000.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And I assume you've got the cash.
Yes, I just crossed $100,000 on the high yield savings account, so I wanted to pay for everything, the insurance for the whole year and everything as well.
So unless your wife is driving a $150,000 vehicle, your two vehicles would be under half your annual income, and you're over $1 million and you're paying cash. That's the only thing we tell people to look at.
Awesome. Yeah, and we're driving right now like a 10-year-old Hyundai, and we're still going to keep it until it dies, just for like memory's sake.
Yeah. I mean, it's apparently the engineering on this thing is incredible. I've not driven one of them. The only thing I worry about with a brand new manufacturer on anything is I end up owning a DeLorean or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or a Studebaker or something that goes out of business, and then leaves you. They make them for 3 years and then they're gone. I don't have any reason to think that this company's going to do that, but I'm just saying, and just as a general comment. But can you afford this? Yes, you can afford it, sir, and yes, you should go buy it if it's what you want.
Amazing. Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate it.
Very cool. That's fun.
Very fun. He walked through it.
I don't get to do that very often. Most of the time I say, don't buy the car.
Well, yeah.
Or sell the car.
Right. Usually when they call saying, I need your blessing, it's because they feel like
they're getting ready to do something stupid that's stupid.
Yeah, please save me. But this guy had walked right through it. I'm with you. I still wouldn't do it.
It's just a car taste.
Yeah,
no, I would do it.
I'd get a year-old one or something like that because it is a new manufacturer. But, I guess it's coming with all the warranties and everything. But it's brand new. I see them driving all over the place.
Yeah, they're great.
They got a dealership about 1.5 miles from my house in downtown Franklin.
Okay.
So I see them. They look cool.
I'm telling you, it's a BA car, man. It'll ride. It'll go. It's faster than
0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
It makes a Tesla look. Yeah.
What's the? Is it a foreign manufacturer? I guess.
No, they're U.S.
It's a U.S.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Didn't even know.
Yeah, it's crazy, but man, it's expensive too. But it's good.
He's earned it.
This is why you work
for it.
Okay,
that's right.
You live like no one else, so later you can live like no one else. Freaking making $500,000 a year, got $1 million net worth, young guy.
Yeah.
But and has saved up the cash to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what and he's making a big leap up.
Big jump.
I
feel bad for the poor Hyundai.
For a hoopty.
The 10-year-old Hyundai's going to feel bad when the new shiny vehicle shows up, but they're going to keep it. I like it.
Yeah. So what's the thing on the Hyundais all getting stolen? Have you seen the TikTok thing?
No. Dave, I'm not on TikTok.
I'm not either, but I heard it this morning. I heard it this morning in a different setting that it's hard to have, that there's some kind of a...
This is true. A guy in the audience is shaking his head.
It's hard to get insurance on them.
They're getting stolen.
Because somebody put out a hack on how to get one started, how to break into it, and all these people are using that hack.
Oh,
and they're stealing Hyundais.
Okay.
Like crazy. So you Hyundai people, be careful out there.
Wow. Get the low jack.
Who knew? This is the Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Hey, folks, we want you to join us in Nashville for a brand new event that we just launched the ticket sales on. It's called the Total Money Makeover Weekend. It's going to be May 10th and 11th. There's millions of you out there who have been listening for a while and are still sitting on the sidelines. No more sitting. It's time to do it. Time to take action. In just one weekend, we're going to give you a crash course on everything we teach you about money, and you're going to hear brand new content in addition to that from the Ramsey personalities on budgeting, beating debt, investing, careers, and more. No matter what baby step you're on, this event will light a fire under your butt, and you'll make progress. All the Ramsey personalities, including Ken Coleman and my right, will be part of this weekend, the Total Money Makeover Weekend. It's going to be live question and answers all throughout the weekend, lots of opportunities activities for fun and pictures and everything else. It is a total immersion. So come join us May 10 and 11. Early bird tickets went on sale just a couple days ago at $99, and they are for a limited time. We're going to up the prices as we go along. So if you want the best prices, you do it now. Get your tickets right now at RamseySolutions.com/events. The event center only holds 2,500 folks, so you do need to get your tickets as soon as possible, please, for your sake. Cassandra is in Colorado Springs. Hi, Cassandra. How are you?
Hi, guys. I'm good. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I'm curious about doing a HELOC to consolidate our debt to pay it off quicker. So we have about $55,000 that we are wanting to pay off. But what I was hoping to do was to do the HELOC. So pull out the $55,000 and then do about a $400 payment a week. So it would be either an automatic withdrawal or we do, automatic is easier. So if we do the automatic withdrawal, and then I'm hoping it would be paid off in about 3 years.
Not at $18,000 a year, it won't be.
The interest is 18?
No. $400 a week is $1,600 a month. That's $19,000 a year. Times 3 is not 55. It might get there. You might get there, but it's going to be tough. Yeah, you'll get there, I guess. But okay. So, all right. So, what kind of debt is this?
We've got about just under $10,000 on a credit card, and then the rest are auto loans, no student loans, and this is not including the house. So,
what's your household income?
Like after taxes, take home is about $7,100 a month. Husband has 2 jobs, and then I also work on commission, so I get bonuses, and so whatever we get and those extra incomes go straight to debt, but I'm wanting it to go faster. So
going faster will be about you guys sacrificing and cutting deeper. It won't be about interest. Interest rate's not your problem when you have only a 2-year or a 3-year problem. Your problem is just straight cash flow, and you can increase that, of course, by increasing income or decreasing outgo, which is sacrifice. The problem with moving this onto your home is you've now put your home at risk for your misbehavior, and your misbehavior was you bought things you couldn't afford to buy.
Right, and now recognizing that and changing that behavior.
Yeah, maybe. 88% of the people that do debt consolidation end up going further in debt, not less debt, because they don't change the habits and the behavior. I personally would tell you to never do it. I would list these debts smallest to largest. I'd cut up the credit cards. I would sacrifice so deeply that people think you joined a cult. I'd sell so much stuff the kids think they're next. I would go crazy and get this done in about 2 years with your income and live on nothing, not going out to eat, not going on vacation, not looking for an easy way out, attacking this with an absolute freaking vengeance. That's the formula that we have seen that has the most success. Because here's the thing, debt is not the problem. Debt is the symptom. And interest rates, when you run the actual math, are not what's killing you here. Especially when you pay those credit cards off really, really fast, because they're going to be the smaller of these debts. The cars are going to be the larger of the debts. And so when you list these things smallest to largest, pay minimum on everything but the little one, attack the little one with a vengeance, credit cards are going to be the first thing out the door. They're going to be gone. And so now your interest rates are not going to be substantially different from that point forward between that and the HELOC. And you put your home at risk to buy a car, or in this case, to keep a car that you shouldn't have bought.
Yeah, the key that we have seen, Cassandra, in all these years, when Dave talks about it, you've heard him talk about it over and over and over again, gazelle intensity. The word there is urgency. And here's what happens. When you take the route of the HELOC, you remove all urgency. In fact, the way you laid it out to us was so relaxed. And we'll pay $400 a week, and in 3 years we'll pay it off. And that's where things go awry, and Dave's right, and the data backs him up. So urgency is we don't rely on the HELOC. We don't rely on a steady monthly payment to get out of this. We get after it right now. We sell a car if we've got some equity. We drive a car that maybe we wouldn't choose to drive. We work 2 and 3 extra jobs. We sacrifice, like Dave talked about. What's going on there is urgency. And when your urgency is driving behavior, you're going to see faster results. That's my observation.
And you see permanent behavior change.
That's correct, because you don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah, you don't see that when you just ease into it.
That's right. The HELOC's too easy.
Yeah. I'm going to keep eating donuts, but I'm also going to start having a protein shake.
Yeah. I'm going to walk 5 miles a day, but I'm not giving up the donuts.
That's right. And 6 Big Macs at lunch. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's that is the equivalent of what we're talking about. It's
right.
There is a thing. So you asked, and so we're answering you fairly, and that is I wouldn't do it because when you lean into this with that urgency, with that level of sacrifice, you'll never go back. It causes the behavior to permanently be changed because you never see it the same way again. This is not a math problem. It's a behavior problem. And when you address it through that lens, it changes the answer dramatically here. Never would I see you go out to eat and you put a steak on your credit card, and then you put your credit card on your home. You've now financed a steak on a HELOC.
Oof. That's a great way of looking at it.
I mean, that's just... when you think about it, it's just nuts. All right. Roger is in Tampa, Florida. Hey, Roger, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
How you doing, Dave? How you doing, Dr. John?
Great. Ken's with me this hour. What's up?
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
All good.
Ken likes to be called doctor, but it's just not accurate.
I've never been called doctor ever, so I'm going to take it.
Cool. Well, all right. My question is, I've worked in the wedding industry doing music for weddings for almost 18 years now. And in 2022, I was making about, $80,000 a year. Halfway through 2022, I decided to go into business for myself. Last year, 2023, I did really well and took in about almost $250,000 to raise my income up.
In the same thing? Doing the same thing?
In the same thing. Just starting. Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you. So, we spent the last year, we paid off our credit cards. We don't have any car loans or anything, but we do have 2 loans that are kind of hanging over my head. And I'm a little overwhelmed just trying to figure out how to manage the money. My wife has about $120,000 in student debt. And I, years ago, made a bad decision, took out an SBA loan, Small Business Association loan, and it's about $100,000 that I took out.
So you got $220,000 to pay off, and you made $250,000 last year.
Correct.
Dude, you used to make $80,000.
Yeah.
Live on your old income, and you're debt-free in 2 years.
Yes. Okay. So the question I have to you is, because as the business has really grown pretty quickly, a lot quicker than I expected. So I'm facing these issues not issues, but I'm looking at future jobs and realizing that I need to purchase. No,
you don't need to purchase anything else. You need to keep making $250,000 and pay off $220,000 in debt. You don't need to be buying anything right now. You got to clean up your mess first. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. One of our other fellow Ramsey Personalities is in the middle of book launch week. We're tomorrow Tomorrow will be 1 week that the book has been out, Breaking Free from Broke by George Camel, the ultimate guide to more money and less stress. It is fun and packed with research, and you will never look at some of the villains in the marketplace the same again. He exposes everyone that is ripping you off. Breaking Free from Broke. You will love the read. It's a lot of fun to read. A lot of people hadn't read a book in 5 years of reading it. That's a good indicator. That's a good book. George Camel. Check it out. You can get it at RamseySolutions.com or anywhere great books are sold. Lexi is in St. Paul, Minnesota. Hi, Lexi. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. How are you guys today?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Hi, I just wanted your advice on some career trajectories. Just to give some background, I'm a recent law student graduate. I chose my law school because I got a full ride, so I'm out debt-free.
Great. Good for you.
And thank you. And I took a job with my state's government as a civil litigator, where I currently make $80,000 a year. And I love this job because I get the mentorship of a corporate law firm, but I get to do work that is meaningful to me, and I get to volunteer 15 hours a week.
What is the work that you're doing that's meaningful?
I get to help protect people in my state from bad actors.
Protect who?
Not in criminal case. Residents of my state.
Residents of your state.
So who are the bad actors? Give us an example of who you're protecting them from.
So, I mean, if there's someone who isn't paying fair wages to their employees, or there's harassment in the workplace, I get to help step in and make sure that that isn't happening to my fellow citizens.
Is that a form of
You're working for the Attorney
regulation?
General?
Yeah.
Are you working
Yes,
for the
sir.
Attorney General?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to make sure
There we go.
That makes sense then. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And I love the work. I get a lot of really great mentorship.
Mhm.
I get to go into court 3 to 4 days a week, which a lot of my classmates who went into big law, I mean, they're in cubicles.
Right.
They're not getting the experience I am. And I get to volunteer, right? I run a housing clinic through a legal aid. I get to volunteer 15 hours a week. But I chose my law school because I would come out debt-free, and I went into it after spending 3 years working for a legal aid, and that's really where my heart is. That's where I want to give back to. And I'm wondering if I should suck it up and go into a corporate law firm where I'd make an additional $100,000 a year easily, pay off my house, and, be able to really give myself to legal aid without any financial burdens, or if I should go straight to legal aid work and, potentially burn out because it's a lower paid position. And
Option A.
it's hard work.
Option A. Now, this is me. I'm going to answer it as what would I do if I were in your shoes with everything you've given me. You love the work that you do. You love the result of that work, and you want to volunteer, and legal aid is close to your heart. But the reality is that if you go into a legal aid position, you are probably going to burn out. Your income is going to be absolutely capped. And I don't know that you're making more of a difference working in that type of a situation 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, as you would going to work for a great law firm with no cap, essentially, or certainly raise the cap tremendously on your income ability and then give back with your time that way. The more money you make and the more money you keep, Lexi, always leads to more freedom. More options with what you want to do with your time. You can give back financially, and you can give back with your time in both positions. And I think you've got to create more income and more freedom for you to be able to have more impact. Now, I'm not going to say that you wouldn't make great impact, you wouldn't be fulfilled, but I'm telling you what I would do. I'd choose both. Income and impact, Dave, is what I would choose. Because you can still volunteer, making more money.
The good news is there's almost an infinite number of answers to your question.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways you can use the law to accomplish your goal. And I don't think it's necessarily all in on legal aid versus all in on big law, and I lose my soul, but I make a lot of money, so I can come back and find my soul again. That kind of thing. I don't think you have to go one direction or the other. There, you're in a mid-level. You're in a middle decision where you're getting to do some of the legal aid work. And like you said, you're getting great mentorship. You're in court every day. So for a season, staying where you are might not be bad. Then a third option pops into my head because I'm entrepreneurial. I wonder what kind of boutique law firm you could own and operate after you've got a little bit more experience under your belt that would allow you to make a couple of $100,000 and still have a lot of room for pro bono, and you select the type of legal aid you want to provide as a part of the business model of running your own firm at some point, where you made serious money off of good people that you want to help, and you also have the margin to do the other stuff too. So there's a lot of different ways to get at this. I always resist the idea that the only way you can do something noble and fulfilling is to be broke.
Right.
That's quite the contrary is true. You can do a lot of noble and fulfilling things, and the people that you're helping will help you to help others in the process. And so I don't mind where you are for a period of time. It's scratching a whole lot of your itches right now.
Yeah.
And just say, okay, this is my internship.
Mm-hmm.
This is my apprenticeship.
Right. Yep.
And I'm going to do this for 3 years.
Sure.
Or I'm going to do this for 4 years. And then I'm going to take that and go open a boutique firm, make serious money on part of my clients and pro bono the rest of them, and still scratch a lot of that itch. I don't think you have to necessarily build up a pile of wealth and then work for nothing at legal aid to have done good in society, or done good in society the way you're defining it even. You've done, and I love that you did this debt-free. That's pretty stinking
remember,
amazing.
You and I were talking about this recently, that most young people don't realize the amount of law schools that are in this country, because they think, well, I got to go to the big name law school, Ivy League or a Vanderbilt in our neck of the woods. But there are law schools in every state that if you have the right GPA and the LSAT scored, they will give you a full ride. Lexi's an example of this, and I want to applaud her too, Dave, because here's a young lady who's come out and she's getting courtroom experience, which is incredibly valuable. She's right.
Yeah.
Her colleagues
are sitting in the cube.
They're waiting for their chance to get in court. She's in there every day on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
I like my option plus Dave's option, Lexi. I thought both of those are sound ideas for you. You can give back, but you can move up at the same time. They're not separate choices, as Dave said. That's a false narrative, and you don't need to feel bad. I didn't like how she said, and I have to suck it up and go to the big law firm. I wouldn't look at it that way, and I would look at it as, if I don't like the big law firm, that's one thing. But moving up doesn't mean that I am somehow not being authentic to who I am and wanting to use the law for good.
Yeah, she just doesn't want to. She didn't like that environment. I think
get
it's part
that.
of it, and I don't blame her for that.
I agree. I
don't blame her for that, because
She's
they
a
just
warrior.
basically they ride you like a horse, man. I mean, it's like nuts.
Yeah,
So I don't argue that part of it. But there's a lot of ways to get at helping helping folks with the law, and there are a lot of angles on that you can do that are not in any way a sellout. So, good question. Good question. You're an amazing young lady. Thank you for calling in. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Luke 14:28. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you sit down first and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? Dan Miller, that we referenced at the top of the hour, said success is never an accident. It typically starts as imagination, becomes a dream, stimulates a goal, grows into a plan of action, which then inevitably meets with opportunity. Don't get stuck along the way. That's good. Great
Really
quote.
good.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. Morgan is in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Hey, Morgan, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Yeah, my husband and I have been married for about 2.5 years, and we have no debt. We would love to buy a house, invest more into retirement, and grow our wealth. But with the budget we have, there seems to be no extra room, even though we're living on as minimum as we can. So what advice do you guys have for growing wealth on a small budget, or maybe maximizing that wealth?
Well, either you're not living on as little as you can, or you don't make much money. Which is it?
I think it's we don't make much money.
What's your household income?
About $50,000.
Okay. Yeah, you're below average. Don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying the average is $72,000 nationally.
What do you each do?
Mm-hmm. My husband is an audiovisual technician, and I currently don't work. I'm a full-time student. We have a baby.
Full-time student. When will you be done?
In about 6 months.
And what do you plan to do?
I don't really plan to work. I probably plan to stay home with the kids and eventually homeschool my kids.
Why did you get a degree?
I'm not paying for it, so it was kind of presented to me as a way to get. I started school before I got married and was maybe going to use it then, and now I am married for a few years with kids. So.
What's your degree in?
Christian ministries.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, there's only two sides to the equation, the income and the outgo. And so if you all want to address your income side, then you're going to have more margin. It's that simple. You'll have more wiggle room in this budget. If you said you got 2 kids?
One kid.
1 kid. Okay. And you guys are what, 25?
I'm 21. My husband's 26.
Okay. All right. And so, I mean, you do not have a lot of room in a $50,000 budget. That would make sense in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I mean, it's not like you're some kind of crazy spender, like you're going to, out on the town buying $300 dinners every night. I know you're not. You don't have room in that budget to do that. You've done a good job staying within that budget, not getting into debt. Way to go. Good job. But I think what you've got to do is I remember a guy teaching one time. I was in a conference on leadership and business, and he said, the problem with hitting goals is not what you're willing to do to get there. It's what you're willing to give up to get there. And giving up, in your all's case, might be if we want to have a house, we're going to have to give up some time and be working. If we want to build some wealth, we're going to have to trade some time for that. And so at 21 with a baby, you've got this stay-at-home mom homeschooling thing dream dialed in, which there's nothing wrong with at all. My wife stayed at home with our children. But you have to, on the other side of the equation, then go make some stinking money. And if you're going to be doing that, he's going to be working more and or differently.
What's a number? Do you guys have an idea in your head how much more per month would make a real difference for you, realistically?
I mean, probably $500 to $1,000 because that's $500 to $1,000 you can put straight in savings.
Okay, here's why I asked that question. It's really important to get that number in your head and you two sit down and go, okay, what do we have to do to come up with an additional $1,000? Could you find some of that in the budget? It's possible. I don't think you have a lot of fat. So now it's, how do I make $1,000? How does he make $1,000? You know, can we do it collectively? Could you make $1,000, even being home with the one baby? Could he make $1,000? You can rack that up pretty quickly. And now all of a sudden you've got $2,000, but you've got to reverse engineer your activity to go, all right, this is what has to be true for us to be able to make an additional $1,000. And if you go above and beyond that, that's fine. But that's when you get some laser focus, and now you've got that margin.
Yeah. I'm going to send you a copy of Ken's book, From Paycheck to Purpose, for your husband. And you can read it too, of course.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking about for him is, I think this is just a job he fell into.
Mm-hmm.
Like he ran sound over at the church, and some buddies that were in the sound business said, come work for us. Now he runs sound. And, he's 26, so you start asking yourself the question, what am I doing when I'm 36 that I'm making $100,000 instead of 50?
That's right.
And do I own the sound company? Do I have a completely different career direction? Do I take a class or two to make myself more valuable? But if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. So change something. And from paycheck to purpose helps lead him through a really clear path to do that.
Yeah, it'll go from ideation in stage 1 all the way to realization of that, as Dave was talking about, 10-year, 20-year, 30-year plan. And he's got some skill set. He's got some experience. He can freelance with that skill set, but he needs to be raising the bar as to what he can make in the now, but with an eye on the next. And that's how you guys get to real financial independence, and then the ability to do whatever you want to, fund those dreams.
Very good. Excellent stuff. All right, Nick is with us in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hi, Nick. What's up?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Better than we deserve. How can we help, sir?
Excellent. So here's my question. My wife and I are new to the Ramsey program. We have significant savings already built up. We do have some consumer debt that I think we can manage rather quickly.
What is how much significant savings?
About $18,000.
And that's not in retirement.
No.
And how much debt do you have?
So I have a couple car loans in a credit card. So $18,000 for my wife's car, $7,000 on my daughter's car, and a credit card that we have on the remainder.
Yeah. Okay. So how can we help?
Well, so my question is, my wife and I are, once we take care of this consumer debt and we start to tackle our mortgage, we sort of have a disagreement. I contribute roughly 35% of my income to retirement. Mm-hmm. And the question is, should I reduce that and take that extra money and contribute it towards our mortgage in addition to any additional funds that...
Gotcha. Well, Nick, what we teach is this idea of total focus, because your most powerful wealth-building tool is your income. If you didn't have any payments right now except your house, you'd have a lot of wiggle room in this budget. And so you've been trying to do 3 things at once, and you ended up financing your car because you're over-investing in your 401k, so you didn't have the money to buy a car. And so in a sense, you borrowed on your car to put money in your 401k. Mathematically, that's what's occurred. So, yeah, temporarily, I would stop putting any money in. Not reduce it. I'd reduce it to 0 temporarily. Temporarily, I'd not go out to eat, not go on vacation. I'd be on a tight budget, scorched earth. You and your wife sit down, make every penny scream. And then I would take every dollar of that 18 except $1,000, and I would throw it at your smallest debts. List your debts smallest to largest and pay them off in that order. So those cards and that daughter's car are gone. The debt's gone. We're going to put a big chunk on your wife's, and then we're going to attack your wife's really, really quickly and get it finished up. Now you got no payments but a house payment. That feels good, although it didn't feel good to stop that 401k for a minute, but it was just for a hot minute. Now we're going to build an emergency fund back of 3 to 6 months of expenses, put that savings back, and then you got your rainy day fund, and then you restart your 401k. The problem is you try to do everything at once, so you're doing nothing. And that's the order of attack. Hang on, I'll send you a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover, to help you do it. Ken Coleman, good show today.
Thank you, sir.
That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.